I'm Cheryl Stape Bryson, mom, divorcee, health nut, and host of the Healthy Mom After Divorce podcast, where I help divorced moms get healthy, create financial stability, and develop emotional fortitude while they master co-parenting their kids. The place is here, and your time is now. So let's do this. Hey, healthy mamas. This is the 17th episode of the Healthy Mom After Divorce podcast, and I am your host, Cheryl. Thank you for taking the time to listen and being a part of the Healthy Mom After Divorce community. As always, you can find the full transcript for this episode at healthymomafterdivorce.com/17. All right. Let's talk about some of the realities around shared parenting and seeing your kids only half or part of the time. This is a situation for a lot of us divorced moms, and one that can be very difficult to live with and accept. You know, when we had kids, we never expected to see them less than 100% of the time. We never thought we'd miss birthdays with them or Christmases or only see them every second weekend, whatever the case may be. This was never the plan. It didn't cross our minds. I mean, why would it? No one has kids with someone who they don't expect to spend their lives with. But sometimes life has a way of throwing us through a loop, throwing curveballs at us, changing the course of our ship. And life is short enough as it is, without the added time pressure to fit in everything you want to do and experience with your kids into half of the time. I know getting to be there for all their firsts and big accomplishments is so important, and most of us sacrifice a lot to do it. But as a divorced mom, you probably know it just isn't always possible. Sometimes it's things like work schedules or other commitments, but other times it's from the conflict with your co-parent. Maybe they won't tell you when or where an event is, so you miss out. Or maybe they won't let you see the kids on a special day just because it's their parenting time. Whatever the reason, as a result, you try to maximize your time with the kids, right? You try to fit in as much as possible when they're with you and squeeze an entire childhood of memories into half the time. Or maybe you try to have only good days every time your kids are with you. No impatience or arguing, no crying or frustrations, no disappointments or hurt feelings. You want the time to be perfect. And these are all good things to aspire to. And sometimes plans all fall into place and you're able to do everything you planned over a weekend or a vacation with no interruptions or unexpected events or issues or problems. Sometimes your days together with your kids are drama-free and everyone goes to sleep with a smile on their face. But sometimes that just doesn't happen. Plans fall through, people cancel, the weather doesn't cooperate, or maybe your co-parent drops the kids off hours late, whatever it is. Maybe your kids are just tired and not feeling whatever you had planned. Maybe they had a bad day at school and they just want to stay in their room tonight. Maybe all the choices for family movie night suck and no one is happy. And when these things happen, we feel like we've failed, don't we? We feel like we have missed another opportunity to make memories that we won't get back again. The time has passed, whether we did all the fun stuff or not. Your expectations were not met, so what do? You beat yourself up. And you feel the shame and guilt that you don't have the time to try again tomorrow because the opportunity is lost, or maybe they go back to their other parent. This can be so hard. So I'd like you to try this visualization with me. Now, I might be aging myself a little, but do you remember those choose your own adventure books? You'd get to the end of a chapter where the characters had a choice to make and you, as the reader, got to pick between two choices, then flip to that page to continue reading. If you're like me, after you made one choice, you went back and chose the other one just to see what it did. But anyways, I digress. So I'm going to ask you to choose your own adventure here. Here's the scenario. Imagine yourself in 20 years. You are a fly on the wall of a conversation between your kid, who is now in their 20s or 30s, and their romantic partner. Their partner is asking them a bit about their childhood and what they remember most. After describing their parents' divorce and how they went back and forth between their homes, your kid begins talking about life with mom. And here's the question. How would you like your child to answer this question? How do you want them to describe life with mom? All right, choose your own adventure, option 1. And this is from the perspective of your kid. Living with mom was good. She planned a lot of fun stuff. There was always a lineup of activities to do when we were with her. We went on a lot of vacations. It was fun some of the time, but a lot of the time, she was stressed and impatient with me when I didn't get moving as fast as I should, or maybe I wasn't having as much fun as I was supposed to. She tried hard to make the perfect weekends and vacations and summers, but always had really high expectations with how the time was supposed to play out. She would snap at me and my siblings when things weren't going as planned. Some of the time it was fun, but there were times I just wanted to decompress. I didn't want to have every minute filled with fun stuff to do. I wish she had just involved me in some of the planning and decisions. Although I feel like if I tried to speak up, she would have just called me ungrateful for all that she's doing for me. And I'm not ungrateful, but she wouldn't have believed me. I wish I could have told her she didn't have to try so hard all the time. I loved her no matter what. I remember one time she planned a family dinner on the night I came back to her house. I'd had a terrible day at school. Some kids were being really unkind to me, and I just wanted to plop down on the couch and watch some TV. When I told her this, she said that I needed to suck it up and put on a happy face because she had spent a bunch of time on the roast she was making. And it's not that I didn't appreciate it. I was just totally overwhelmed and exhausted. I wish I could have shared that with her, but it was easier just to go along with it because she really was trying. I know that. I know she loved me, but it wasn't always easy being around her. Okay, that was option 1. Option 2 of your choose your own adventure. Living with mom was so easy. She liked to plan fun stuff for us to do, but she was also really flexible. She would check in with us, and if we weren't really into something, she would just kind of pivot, either cancel something altogether or just kind of change it in some way to suit how we were feeling. And if stuff didn't go as planned, I always thought she'd get really upset, but she didn't. She didn't get upset or really impatient with anyone. There were times I just wanted to walk in the house and decompress, just veg for a few hours, and she never had a problem with that. I thought for sure when I told her I didn't want to do what she had planned that she'd be so upset with me, but she wasn't. She didn't get on my case at all. It's like she could tell that this is what I needed. She never made me feel bad about not wanting to do something she planned, and she didn't freak out when things didn't go quite right, which happened quite a bit. I remember one time she planned a family dinner on the night I came back to her house. I had had a terrible day at school. Some kids were being unkind to me, and I just wanted to go sit on the couch and watch TV. When I told her this, I expected serious pushback because she had clearly spent a lot of time and energy on the dinner she was making for everyone. Instead, she said she understood and asked how we could make dinner work for everyone. We sorted out a solution, and I didn't feel like I needed to be on or that I owed anyone anything. It was just easy being at her place. We didn't do amazing things all the time, but that's okay. I'd much rather a house like that than a house where it was go, 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 go all the time, because it always ends in stress. So my question, healthy mama, which adventure do you choose? I know that we want to have the time with our kids to be special and memorable. We want them to look forward to coming to our home and spending time with us. We want them to associate fun childhood times with us. But even more than that, they want a space for them to be themselves. A space where they can share how they're feeling and not bury it because they feel like they owe us a good attitude for all of our efforts. A space where it's okay to not be super into something or always need to be on. A space where they're not walking on eggshells or trying to protect their parents' ego because, all the work that we've put in. So, here's a few tips that I would give for when you're planning special days when the kids are with you. Number 1, consider not filling up all of your days with one fun activity after another. Number 2, consider talking to your kids ahead of time about what they'd like to do over the weekend or on a vacation. Number 3, consider not having something planned for the minute they walk in the door. You just never know, the kind of mood they're going to be in. Number 4, consider not loading them up into a vehicle as soon as they walk in the door to be whisked off to something else. Sort of similar to number 3, just kind of sussing them out when they get home just to see where they're at. There will be different tolerances for different kids at different ages, so it's more just about being tuned into them. And if something doesn't go quite as planned, give yourself and them some grace. Do your best to be flexible and go with the flow. Okay, one final question. Which one of these scenarios do you think your kids would prefer? A Disney vacation with a detailed itinerary, on-time flights, and all sunshine. With a mom that spent her time making sure everyone was having fun at all times, squeezed every single minute out of every day to maximize the fun experience. Or a Disney vacation that ended up with delayed flights and rainy days, but with a mom that just let everyone sleep in on day 1, packed the rain jackets, and just kept a flexible, go-with-the-flow positive attitude. Even with the best weather and the best traveling experience, having a mom that is high-strung and making sure every single second is uber fun is not going to be the thing that the kids want. I'm so certain that most children will take the delayed flights and the rain if mom has a go-with-the-flow positive attitude. I know my kids would. So give yourself some grace. Do your best. Plan fun stuff, but know that you don't have to have constant excitement at your home for your kids to want to be with you. Having a safe, calm space where they can be themselves might be exactly what your kids need. The fun stuff is just gravy on top. You got this, Mama. And remember, healthy moms raise healthy kids. Thank you so much for listening. Please leave a review. And if you like what you heard, share this episode with other mums. Don't forget to follow me on social media. And if you want to learn more about me and what else I have to offer, head over to healthymomafterddivorce.com. I can't wait to connect with you.